personal growth, leadership development. There's quite a few of other things. Somebody wants to learn public speaking. Right place is Rotary. The one thing I think I remember with Alex, which was excellent, was fun. He brought fun back into Rotary. And I think sometimes, because of his obviously much different demographic age, I said that politely, Alex, meaning you're much younger than most of us at that time. He brought fun back into Rotary. And I think sometimes we also forget that, we're all doing this because we want to have a bit of fun, we want to make new friends, do a little bit of charity, professional development. It's all a big, ball of stuff that we to do to join Rotary. Again, I come back to the reason is, how do you motivate your fellow Rotarians to do what you want them to do in the year? I was talking to my friend here, she's also president-elect. Which club are you from, ma'am? Just remind me again. You see, Nairobi Hapa is a brand new club, just started, you're excited to be a Rotarian and a president, and how are you going to engage with them? How are you going to motivate them? How are you going to get them excited to do the stuff you're going to do? Some of the things I learned over the years, and we're going to have a panel in a few minutes, and we're going to ask the same questions to them, but some of the tricks I learned when I was president in 1999, I am actually that young, you see, when I'm 99. It's the grey hair that, hides my youthness. Is everybody in the club joined Rotary because they want to do something. And I think it's important that we give them that responsibility. So if you have a club of 20, 21, 22, I would suggest ask each person to do one small thing for the club. Anything they want. If it's a project, they want to get involved in the youth, they want to do a social evening. Give everybody a job to do. So they feel part of the club, that I'm responsible for this project. I remember I gave one Rotaract person, I gave somebody to do Interact, I gave someone to organize our, installation night. So everybody feels part that I'm contributing to the club. Second, of course, as president-elect, you have an ambition. You say, my club wants to do 1 or 2 big projects. So that's going to unite the club under 1 or 2 or 3 club projects, as they say. But important that everybody does their own individual thing because they've come to do something for themselves. So before you start, you have 2 or 3 months' time to plan. I would suggest you call each one of your members and say, you've joined Rotary, what do you want to do in your year? Somebody might say, I don't know, I want to have a bowling evening. Or, you can do anything. I think keep your options open. But then make that person responsible. Third one, I think we forget a lot, and I mentioned Alex, is we forget that it's all about fun. It's all about enjoying. It's all about enjoying each other's company. And we get so wrapped up in doing projects, and we always worry about what the DG is going to say when he's coming around. And we're always petrified when they come around, but we forget, really, that we're just here for fun. We're here to enjoy one another's company. So I think you need to have that in your agenda. Every 1 or 2 or 3 months, have a social. Get together, have open a Tusker, have a drink, have a little bit of music. And especially if Leonard comes, have lots of music, because the man can party like I've never seen anybody else. And finally, of course, the whole point of being a Rotarian is we want to build our networks, we want to interact with one another, we want to go to other clubs. Honestly, I look around the room, and when will I ever meet any of you in my own space? I do my own thing in my own factory. When will I come and relate to Janet and Alex and all of you guys? When will I ever meet you guys if it wasn't for Rotary? Isn't just the most wonderful network organization you've ever been to? Forget that whenever I travel abroad, I always carry my Rotary pin. I go to the website and I see where there are clubs in the world, and I always attend a Rotary club wherever I go. I've been to just the most incredible one. I went to one in Japan. I don't know what it was. Japan 1 it was called, or Tokyo 1 it was called. And I walked in, and obviously the meeting was in Japanese, but they were very courteous and they let me in. After a few minutes, I realized every single person in that room was a dollar billionaire. It was incredible. And I thought to myself, I'm completely in the wrong place. But what an incredible opportunity to meet other Rotarians. And of course, when you're in a new city, everybody's courteous, and they welcome you, and they show you around, and they give you tips. So traveling is important. And when you come back, talk about that to your members, that I went to this place, I went, and I met these people. Isn't that another wonderful way of being a Rotarian? So there's lots of tips out there. I'm sure we're going to, over the course of the next day or so, we're going to figure out how to motivate your members. Leonard obviously has a whole plan of action, which I'm sure he's going to tell us through. But fellow Rotarians, this is going to be a wonderful journey for all of you. I'm so jealous that you are really going for this, and you look so fresh and enthusiastic, and happy to follow. I want to see you guys at the end of your 12 months and tell me how was your journey. You're probably like me, aged, and your kids have forgotten you. So once again, I want to say welcome, congratulations to you, and I really wish you much success in your next 12 months journey. With your permission, I've got three speakers who I want to quickly call on stage. Yes, Tito, that's right. I called them on stage, right, Tito? So if I can just read them out, I've got here James Mwangi. James and I have been Rotarians for decades as well. James, come on up. And of course, really a veteran in membership stuff. So James, karibu sana, come up stage. Then we have, I see Hadi Kisali. Hadi is around. Strategy and Planning Chair. Where? Coming? Okay, cool. I'm going to move this thing out in a second. And Betty Wairira, Membership Lead. Betty, come on stage. Do you think that we can move this? I'm going to block everybody, I think. Can we move this podium to the right? Is okay? Or maybe you can move your chairs in the front, maybe. Yes. Just come in the front, I think. Probably easier. It's okay. That's fine. Just move your chair in the front. All right, the first question I have is for my friend James. No particular order, James. So James and I have been Rotarian for a long time, and I really admire what James does in his professional life, in his career. Really, I look up to you, James, for what you've done in Naivasha and stuff. So the first question to you is, what is the overall plan when it comes to membership for the coming Rotary year? Membership plan. What do you want PEs to focus on for the annual plan? So two sort of questions, and maybe you could start off.
So in terms of what our focus will be for membership in the coming year, we really have four pillars that we'll be looking at. One of them will be developing new clubs and increasing our membership. The other one will be strengthening our existing clubs and figuring out how to retain our members. The other one will be closer community presence. We'll also be working with the clubs and the members to deepen and make sure we have better and more structured partnerships. And we'll also focus a lot more on monitoring and evaluation. So those really are our big things. Now, in terms of what I think the Ps should be focusing on, I know there's a lot that will be said in the course of the day. But I think for me, it's just 5 things that I think will make sure that if you do this, you're well on your way to being successful. One of them is you need to be able to give your members an opportunity to serve. So just figure out how these guys have to get their hands dirty. They have to do something. And by serving, I mean, community service. It can be a big international project. It can be a small project. Whatever it is, make sure that you give people an opportunity to serve. And opportunities to serve also come in terms of leadership. Make sure that you are able to involve everyone in your club to be able to serve in some capacity in the club, in whatever it is. So by giving people an opportunity to serve, you also keep them quite engaged. And as has also been said, fun plays a big part in keeping your guys together. It gives them at least a way in, but if you want to keep your guys, fun is definitely the way to go. So make sure you have fun ways of engaging your meetings, you have fun socials, you have fun ways of interacting with other Rotarians and members in your communities, and that will go a long way. The third one is around friendship. Just make sure that people are able to have opportunities to have friends and make connections. And connections are made within the club, within the wider community. But I think there are lots of opportunities for people to make connections at district training such as this, as DCAs, zone institutes, and international conventions. So please go ahead and give your people as much opportunity as they possibly can for friendship and for connections. The other one is obviously to develop them again by using training. This year we've got well-oiled training facility and group, so we'll be able to give a lot of our members opportunities for training, especially in membership. How do you get new Rotarians interested? How do you keep those ones that are there? How do you keep your clubs alive? So we really focus on training and developing. And I'm glad to know that these are things that will be coming up. The other one is just use of data and surveys.
Sorry, I didn't realize. Sad, welcome. Your question is actually the hardest one, probably. When developing club strategies, annual plans and planning for the citations, what will be the process of developing these plans for the clubs?
When developing the district citation and your plan as a club, how do you do this? We all know that Rotary clubs do not exist in isolation, and that's why we are here, isn't it? We have the overall vision of Rotary International, and we know Rotary currently has a 5-year strategy that is running. We did a strategy as a district for the first 3 years, running with that strategy, and the current strategy, as you know, is going to run for 2 years. It has already been shared with us, and it's been launched today, the summary, the schedule you saw. The DGE launched this morning. There was a summary of the slides of the 4 areas of focus as we move with that strategy. So the first place we begin as clubs is to see what does the RI International expect from me as a club president or my club, and 2, what does the district expect from me? So there will be 2 documents that you need as a president in your club for you to come up with a good strategy. That is the RI strategy and the district strategy. Do we have all of them with us? Very good. So as a president, you need to orient yourself with these 2 documents, because that is what you expect. Like, for example, we already know when DG went for training in the USA last time, you already said the expectation of RI president on him as DG. Now he comes, he cascades it to us as there's a problem with this, district officers. And then we come up with a plan for the district that will, thank you, that will help now to guide that. So I know you have a lot of plans to do as a club, but remember, we don't exist in isolation. To do that, as the district strategy committee, we've done a very simple strategy. I don't know whether you have had a look at it. Have you looked at the strategy for the district? 24, 25, 26. You've seen it? Very simple, isn't it? How was it simple? You remember we started in September last year. We took out a questionnaire. Most of the current president who filled that questionnaire said, in all honesty, the district strategy is good, but there was too much literature and we are busy people. So some people didn't read it. So this time round, under the guidance of DGE, we have done something very simple. Do you appreciate how simple it looks like?
Oh, yes.
Very good. And then, thank you. And then we've come up with a matrix that we are going to share. What we are going to do this year, the difference that, DG, if you allow me, we announce. I know you'll be doing what is called action plan. You know, the plan for the year that you fill. We used to do our year, it was a manual, it was a PDF document we used to fill, a big document, then you forward to the district. Right now you do it on Google Form. Current president, did you fill that? Yes. Now this year we've done it very simple. It is going to be on the club runner, our plan. And most PEs have been asking, when do we start filling this plan? We are working to have it ready on the club runner by next week. You just log in and you fill in your plans. It's already simplified for you. Is that a good thing for us to do? We've reduced the areas of focus. The big strategy, the deliverables in our clubs are only going to be 14 items. And you're going to see them by next week. I was just talking to the chair innovation, and we are going to finalize by next week, and that's how it is. So I think to answer your question is that how do we form the plans? We must know where do we fit in. And of course, study the community and see what you want to do impactful within your area of focus. DG has been saying it since morning that we need to come together as clubs and do bigger, impactful projects. He keeps on telling us that he doesn't discourage clubs from visiting children's homes and offering food every month. But Rotary should now start thinking bigger. Should start thinking, yeah, he mentioned something like adopt a village. Adopt a village and change it. Yeah, my PE will tell you here, for example, in Rongai, we adopted a hospital, and from a dispensary now it is level, I think level 3 or level 4. Yeah, we've pumped in about 6 million Kenya shillings as a club. So impactful projects. Are we ready for that? Very good, thank you. So my few presentation before I hand over the mic was on membership. And just allow me to talk a bit about membership. I was mentored to serve at the district from membership committee. And I can see my boys smiling here. Joe Kamau was my membership chair. So membership at the heart. We believe the more we are, the better we are, isn't it? I keep on telling our clubs when I speak about membership, is that clubs are the engine of Rotary. How many know that? That if clubs don't do what they're supposed to do, then there is no Rotary. True? DGE may want to do a project, but the best he can do probably is to go to his club of Karen and bring his views on what Karen can do. But he may not come to your club and force you, please adopt this school. It takes your club to do that. And we always say, since clubs are the engine of Rotary, then committed members are what we need. So there are 4 areas to build commitment in clubs that are found out. And allow me to share with you very quickly. PDG Bimal Kataria started by asking what Rotarians are looking for. And in these 4 items, an answer might be there. In my study on membership, I found out 4 reasons that can make members stay and members come in. One is comfort with other club members. Comfort with other, friendship. As a president-elect, as you go in, we need to be very, very key in building relationship between us and the members and the board and between our members, so that people will be looking forward to the meeting day as a blessing, not like a curse. You know, I feel like you look at your watch and say, today is a meeting day again. No, we want to be looking forward that it is Tuesday and you meet on Wednesday and you're already wishing it was a Wednesday. Don't we want to have such clubs? Yeah, and you see, when people commit to do something and they have comfort and they're looking forward to see each other, then you will build commitment. And when people love their club, they will bring in other clubs. Number 2, because of time, clubs' positive impact in the community. That's what we need to see. If you want to bring in members, sometimes you don't even need to tell people about Rotary. They just see. They just see what you're doing around and they ask, well, how can I be part of that? You know, human beings, we have a problem. And I don't know whether you have that problem like me. I always like associating myself with something successful. Hata kama ni kukaa huko nyuma. I always say we were there. Sindio? When I travel, I work for Ministry of Tourism in government, and we travel a lot. By a matter of fact, each year after here, I'm going to Nanyuki. There's an event this evening at Olpajeta. So what happens is that when I go somewhere and I find something Rotary, I always take a picture, because I'm happy to see the impact that Rotary is doing. So let's commit to doing clubs' positive impact within our communities, bigger projects, as DGE puts it, and we will attract members and our clubs will be very, very strong. Number 3, confidence in club leadership. Confidence in club leadership. When people lose confidence in you as a PE or as a president, then you are in trouble. So you need to build confidence. And how do you build confidence? By doing what is right. And in Rotary, we always have laws that guide us and principles. And lastly, people need to enjoy club meetings. People need to enjoy club meetings. We've done a survey, and I think maybe Tito will be talking about it later. Some of our clubs are not even holding meetings the way we should hold them in Rotary, because there's a procedure of standard meetings in Rotary. We start with 4-way grace and all that, and all this should be planned early. Have you ever gone to a club where the president doesn't even know who will do the grace? Doesn't know who will make the 4-way test? Have you ever gone to such a club? It is meeting time, the room is not even arranged. You are still looking forward, there is no banner. Even if there was a new person coming in, you know there's something called first impression. What does the first impression person get? And if you look around our district, if I ask you today to just mention one club you admire and you visit them, you will find that they are organized. You come in, the register is there, everything organized. The president knows how the meeting will run from the beginning to the end. Not that ambushing people. Okay, Wanjoy, you will do the grace for us today. You know, when there is a schedule and people know what is they are participating, even a week earlier, people like organized things. So engage your members, and we are able to grow Rotary as we have fun as we march from marching together to which year? We are one. Finally, allow me. I was talking to PEs before we started this function, and one PE mentioned to me something that I want in his own words to tell us today, to challenge us as fellow PEs from Mombasa. Can just come and mention to me that last point you told me? I want it to come from you, because it inspired me, and I said, may it also inspire other PEs in the house today about the commitment and taking up leadership. Let's appreciate him as he comes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Mahmoud Noorani, Rotary Club of Mombasa. And thank you for that surprise. It will happen to all of you. We are all leaders, we expect it. Now, we are all motivated. But important is we need to give that position that we are taking its due respect and time. That's what it is. Commitment. Not to take a position or a seat to warm it, but to actually get the job done. Thank you.
Two more questions, please. One for Betty. What is membership leads and what role can it play in boosting our membership growth as PEs? I hope you've been given that question. Not a surprise like you. It's a surprise question. Well, there we go. Betty, you're on stage.
Talking about the question that has been posed to me, when you think about our growth, I want you guys to tell me one thing. Look at our numbers. I hope you can see it at the bottom here. Are we, based on our net growth of 0%, are we moving forward? Sorry, yes, there's a slight mistake in the language. Are we moving forward? No. Are we moving backwards?
Yes.
Are we mark timing? How many people think we are mark timing? We are mark timing. Cindy? Thank you. That's the essence of this slide. We are mark timing. And I'm here to just let you know that there's a way we can unlock this. You know, have you ever tried losing weight and then you get to a point where you need to shock your system? So I feel like we are comfortable, yeah? We are like in a plateau phase. Sindio? Tunaendelea tu. We lose 1 kilo, then we gain it next week. Sindio? You know what I mean? Yeah, so I feel like that's where we are, even in our membership growth. So when you think about it, the question that has been posed to me is literally answered by this slide because it shows us the channel, the membership leads channel, and our ability for us to be able to embrace it because it's an opportunity for us to grow and break out of that plateau. So when you think about it, we have people who want to join Rotary and we interact with them. We have people who move or relocate like I did. We have people who are referred by members, friends, and when they think about it, they'll go online to rotary.org and express their interest in Rotary in their own spaces. And all this is how we actually are able to get the leads that connect with us through My Rotary. So this is a wonderful channel, and it's a channel that we can be able to use to be able to maximize the leads component in our club. So let me just show you something. Sorry. How it works. We have a prospective member, like I've said, relocating member or a Rotarian. We have Rotary, and this member goes and submits the leads information under rotary.org. And then after that, the Rotary staff screen leads to ensure that they meet basic membership requirements. And they assign them to respective districts. So we have leads assigned to us every so often, actually every month. And then district governor, membership chair, assistant governors get alerts about new leads and they can view them and then match them to prospective clubs. And then after that, club presidents and membership directors are forwarded the leads that match their location, where the leads are, and they are assigned to follow up. And so since 2001, we can see that inquiries from qualified candidates have increased by 400%. Of the screened leads, 63% of them referrals and 60% of relocating members join a Rotary Club within 6 months. So it is powerful. It's a very, very powerful tool. So I hope I've answered that question. I don't know if I have time to continue and just quickly give an overview. Okay, thank you. So how does this look like in the district? I love data, I love numbers. And when this docket was assigned to me, let me say that we never had visibility on leads at all in the district. So I got records for the past, I don't know how many years. I had to consolidate them, I had to create a database, and then start analyzing to be able to see what are some of the insights we are getting from leads. And so in terms of leads by gender, of course, majority are male, 55%. Female 44%. In terms of age cohort, and this is what we are seeing in terms of our demographic, when we think about elections, when we think about our population, we have a very vibrant young population. The same thing, even in our clubs. The interest in leads, what we are seeing is that for the age cohort between 18 to 29, we have the highest number of leads, believe it or not. So these are like fresh graduates, people who have your first job and you want to become a Rotarian. Between 30 to 39, again, a very high number of leads interested from that age cohort. What this is telling us is, have we tailored our clubs to suit this age cohort? You get what I mean? So this helps us to really think hard, because I'm telling you the truth, the people we are working with as PEs, the members will be leading, they are very fresh brains. And they need to be excited. And what Hadi is saying is we have to think about ways of engaging them very closely. In terms of leads location by country, we see that Ethiopia had 20% of the leads, Kenya having the highest in terms of leads interest at 80%. We don't have leads from South Sudan. So what can we do to be able to strengthen that interest? And Eritrea. So we are only looking at 2 countries where we have expressed interest. When you think about their location in Ethiopia, you see majority of the leads come from Addis Ababa, Amhara region, and Oromia from Ethiopia. For the Kenyan leads, we see Athi River having a lot of leads, Kiambu, 10, Kisumu, Machakos, Mombasa, Nairobi, of course, having the highest number of leads. And if you're a club and you're in those regions, it means that you have a lot of leads coming your way, and you can be able to maximize and convert them to Rotarians and members of your clubs. When you think about these clubs, so the other slide was looking at regions, but actual clubs. 13 clubs in the district have had more than 5 leads referred to them, meaning that when we think about referrals for leads, like you saw, they express interest in Rotary.org, they are screened by Rotary International staff, the leads are forwarded to our district. From there, we have to screen them. In my capacity, that's what I do, and we forward these leads to respective clubs based on where they are located. And you can see for Rotary Club of Bamburi, Mombasa, was forwarded 16 leads. Do we have clubs in Mombasa other than Bamburi? Yes. Do you want to know why Bamburi got 16 leads? Yes. Do you want to know why? Yes. Because their president is responsive. Let's clap for them. I am so, who's the PE for Bamburi? Please stand if you're in the house. Because there is something powerful. Perfect. Thank you so much. Because, you see, if we block these cracks, these are people who want to be Rotarians. You're not even selling them the idea. They've already gone and said, I want to be. So all you have to do is to receive them, welcome them, work with them, and convert them to be Rotarians. Quick win. Low-hanging fruits, and you can see what they have done. And unfortunately for other clubs, I'm going to say this, in Mombasa, the traction has been very poor. So we decided to go with a club that is active, because either way we will miss them if we don't support them. So this is just to encourage all of us. If you get leads as PEs forwarded to you, act on them immediately. You will scale up those numbers very quickly. Then you can see Rotary Club of Kiambu, 11 leads forwarded to them. We have Machakos 6, Kisumu Winam 8, Nairobi 5. You can actually see Rotary Club of Nairobi Thika Road 13. Who's the PE for Nairobi Thika Road? Please stand. Let's clap for him. Another powerful club. And then there's one more. Can you see another star somewhere? Karen. P for Karen. P. I'm encouraging the P's, but the president is here too. Let's clap for her. What I want to say is this: these three clubs, Bamburi, Karen, and Thika Road, are the most responsive in the district. And I appreciate you for what you do with our leads. So let's all of us be excited about the leads that get referred to us. When you think about how the leads heard about Rotary, majority is social media. Now, this is for us insight. Did you realize the age cohort?
Yes.
Where is that age cohort going to interact the most? So, back to losing weight. Yeah? So if you keep doing the same thing you keep doing and you're not losing weight, so you have to rethink, re-strategize. Sasa hata tukikuwa na socials 20 na watu wako social media and our social media presence iko hivi, seriously, will we move forward? Will we? No. We have to literally think about channels that will enable us to push our membership exponentially. So internet, social media, powerful channel. Personal connection, friends, amazing, about 30%, which makes sense because when you connect with somebody, bring one, each one, bring one. When you connect with someone, it's easier because there's a sense of trust. So thinking about leads follow-up status in terms of our outcome, you see our percentage kind of mirrors RI conversion rate. We are at 63%, fully allocated leads. So we are doing very, very well, but very few clubs are helping us reach that 63%. If we can all be responsive on leads, our percentage will really increase. So 217 leads have been fully allocated, and in terms of our referred leads, if you are wondering what does that referred lead, 19% for Ethiopia, what does that mean? It means that once we get the leads in the district for Ethiopia, we have to refer them because most of them, when we think about it, the interaction, the language, and their comfort level, they would rather interact with the Ethiopian leads and counterparts. So we refer them. And beyond that, I think for Ethiopia, what we need to do is to push harder to make sure, above and beyond referral, that we are not losing momentum there. So starting strong is good, but finishing strong is epic. Senior. So as you start as PE, aim to finish strong. And how do you do that? For the leads docket, when we work through all these components here, aiming to review and assign membership leads to club, strengthen follow-up on leads, thinking about our database, there's a lot of work that is involved, running reports, tracking membership interests and trends like you have seen, thinking about the conversion rates, the opportunities that are there at club level, club presidents and membership directors. And this is one thing we realized, leads cannot just work by connecting them to presidents. We need to bring our membership directors on board. So that the two, you have to work together to act on membership lists referred to them, and then think about the reports and the conversion rate and making sure that we succeed through this channel. So thank you so much for listening.
What a brilliant presentation. I actually learned a lot from that one. Well done, Betty. Excellent. Puts the rest of us on the stage a little bit on the defensive, I think. Why membership is important, let me tell you. when Leonard hands over the chain next year and Azib is changing to him, RI looks at our district in only two measurements. One is the rate of growth of our district, very important metric. And second one is how much money we raise for the foundation. That's it. We only have two measurements to how successful our district is. It's a typical American thing to do is look at statistics. Membership is important, grow membership, more fees to Rotary, more donations to Rotary, and of course more the Rotary Foundation, how much charity donations we get. So membership is actually one of the most important measurements Rotary uses. So if you love this man, and I know we all love Leonard, what are we going to do? We're going to build membership, isn't it? So end of next year when Leonard hands over, Leonard's going to stand up and say, we've broken the world record, isn't that right, Leonard? The final speaker we have is Saad Rahman. Saad is a regional coordinator for what does it say, Eastern Kenya. Your question is relatively simple, I hope. How do we make our clubs sustainable? How do we ensure we retain our members? And how do we nurture the growth of newly chartered members? Those are actually quite serious questions and very, very important to us. So Saad, over to you. Thank you.
What is Liverpool's quote? You never walk alone. What is the theme of a lot of the things that have been said so far? As BEs, you never walk alone, right? Everyone here today, everyone in this room, all the exalted people who are sitting in the front rows, all our PDGs, our country chairs, the people on the stage, the entire infrastructure is designed to help you, the PEs. You do not walk alone. There is an entire infrastructure built around you to help you succeed, right? But the responsibility is yours, as Mahmoud said. We can only tell you how it's going to be done and give you our ideas and thoughts. But the final responsibility lies with you. So, I've been given the fourth session in a speaker of a group of four. So whatever I say, I hope I'm saying it for the first time. The only other session I could have got was the one after lunch or before the day ends, the graveyard shift. So please just bear with me for the next 5 minutes while I go through this. A sustainable club is an impactful club, correct? We all join Rotary to have an impact. And you could be joining for what PDG Bimal said, it could be a self-impact, or you could be joining, I met today Emily, who I had never met before. She's the incoming PE for RC Nairobi South. Here today, if you turn to the person to your left or right, you might be meeting someone for the first time. Exchange ideas, right? So let's go forward on this. And apologies if you're seeing some of these things for the fourth time. So how do you make a sustainable club? Make your meetings and projects fun. Can I point out, no one else said anything while the other three spoke. So if you want to repeat yourself, please feel free to do so. So there are 3 or 4 headings, and then there's a final slide. But make your meetings and projects fun. Do what Hardy was talking about. When your meeting is on Wednesday, don't think about Thursday. Think like it's Tuesday that you want to be there. Meetings and fun are what brings people to work, to life, to what's called a relationship, correct? Yeah. Why do you want to be with someone or some people? It's called a relationship. In Rotary, it's about making meetings and projects fun, right? That's the most important part. Have fun. It's not often that a district chair gets up and does something like this. Thank you. Can you guys see? So, have fun and have high energy meetings. You've got to make everyone feel welcome. When you're a PE, when you're a club member, it's your home away from home, right? When someone comes to visit you, as PDG talked about when you go around the world, if they did not make you feel welcome, how would you feel? Who said that? You feel unwelcome, and you'll go, why am I a Rotarian, right? You want to feel welcome when you go to a club, even in your own club. It helps create a relaxed atmosphere, and all of this helps to make your focus on making social events and projects fun. You want to attract people. If you attract someone to come to your club, rest assured they'll bring someone else with them, right? Like-minded people attract each other, correct? You want to bring, you're the best of your cohort. You want to bring people to come and visit your club because you want to grow your club. Whether you use membership leads, but at the end of the year, you want to make sure that your club has grown and you're handing over. All PEs only have 365 days to be club president, correct? Same with the DGs, country chairs, and everyone. You are a transitionary member to your next PE, but you want to make sure you leave things in a better state than when you found them. Community also becomes aware that Rotary Club has fun meetings, high profile to attend projects and fundraisers. One of the DGE's goals this year is to have more RCCs. And this is something that all PEs will have to do with their AGs and RCs, and the DGE will talk about that more. The word of mouth, and I know it's slightly different to what Betty talked about social media, but the word of mouth spreads about the club being a fun and effective organization to join. It's the biggest impact we can have. I know social media, you can quantify it, but word of mouth is a qualification. If I say something good about my club, rest assured people will want to come across. And my club, RC Upper Hill, is a new club, but it is the coolest club on the hill. And my PE's here, the one clapping. So this is the core of one of the aspects of Rotary. Participate in community and international projects. Before I go through the full slide, how many club presidents look at My Rotary? How many of you follow Rotary on social media? Don't even read this slide. Just go to My Rotary, follow social media, follow any district. If you don't know what you want to do in your club as a project, that's okay. But you know, there's 45,000 other clubs around the world that are doing projects. Have a look at them and you will get ideas. From WASH, child maternity, building schools, you name it, clubs are doing it. You are not in isolation, to use Hardy's words, right? You don't exist in a vacuum. If you existed in a vacuum, you'd go back to the very point the DGE talked about this morning. Isolation and walking alone. You're not walking alone. Every other club in the world is doing projects. And if you don't know, see what other clubs are doing. Talk to your own classmates, correct? You know that there are projects that are being done. You do projects that you can manage and you can successfully have an impact with. Members are encouraged to bring guests to help with projects. Influential members of the community are also invited to projects. And last but not least, this is so important. We're poor in PR in Rotary at times. Projects are featured on the club's website and social media pages. How many of you have put your club's projects in the district's newsletter in the DG Times? Caroline put her hand up, she's my PE. Every time we go to visit KGSA, we make sure we put it in the district newsletter and we put it on our social media pages. How many other clubs do that? Come on, I cannot see one hand. That's only one hand. You've got to use the district's portal and put your projects on the DG Times and on the and on the district pages. Who are you trying to sell Rotary to? To your own club members? You're trying to sell it to a bigger community. One of the key things that PDG Patrick Obart talked about was the corporatization, if I can use that. Think like you're running a business at times, guys and girls. Success breeds success. If you don't tell anyone, how the hell are we meant to know you're doing a good project? Right? Traditional recurring fundraisers, I know that got knocked off during COVID, but try to find how you can do that. And go to Rotary social media pages for ideas. There is a whole world out there outside your own club. Use it, read it, and look at it. foster friendship, right? This is one of the things that PBG and Vimal talked about. Major goal for many successful clubs. How many clubs have a family of Rotary director? Do they do family of Rotary events? Yes. How often do you do them? Once a month? Every few weeks? Do you recognize births, deaths, marriages? Yes. All of these things help build family, right? And what do they help build? What do they all help? Build relationships. Camaraderie is always stressed as an important part of the club. Unselfish. We're all equal in Rotary. We all come from different walks of life, different countries, different cultures. But we're part of a membership of a family that's 1.4 million strong. Leave your egos outside the door. That's what will kill clubs, and that's what kills relationships in clubs. Members make special efforts to talk with visitors and new members. And lastly, diversity is important to the club. Since I've only got one more minute. Membership is an important goal, and I really don't want to repeat what Betty talked about, but everything that you can do here is how you can build your club. Attract new members, retain your new members, retain your members. How many clubs have a buddy system? It works for you, right? You pair people up, you help look after each other, correct? That's what you're trying to do in your club. And if you have a buddy system that works, we actually, in my old club, in Dar, we had a buddy system. And it was an old club. It was older people, but it worked because you look after each other that way. Retention is a core aspect of Rotary. You've got to think hard and long about how you're going to retain your members. And all of this is important, but one point I didn't want to put on here, and I didn't want to, because I know it's a sensitive issue, but you've got to make sure you pay your dues on time. If you're not paying your dues on time, why are you in Rotary? Rotary has two things, turn up and pay up, right? You've got to be a prepaid club. If you're a postpaid club, you will have issues. You do not want to hand over non-paying members to your PEs on July the 1st. The problems must be dealt with now, and they're painful, and I'll be the first to admit it. I come from a club in Dar. If you don't pay, you're out. And that's Tanzanians, right? Yeah. Yeah. Now the Kenyans laugh. If you're not a prepaid club, you leave a problem, a legacy that a PE should not have to deal with. Please deal with it. And let me just come to the 3-point challenge. It's my final slide. Communicate, coordinate, and delegate. If you don't remember anything else from the other slides, that's okay. But remember this, communicate with your board, communicate with your club members, communicate with the district officials. District officials may all be successful, but they don't have powers of ESP, right? I don't know, do you have ESP? No. So DGs are not given an ESP chip when they become a DG or a DGE. Communicate with, the more you communicate, the better it will be to solve your problems. Coordinate. You're not in an isolation environment. And delegate. It was a point that was raised earlier. When you delegate, you feel each member is a stakeholder in the club's success, correct? Delegate. You do not have to run a club by yourself. I became a CP during COVID. Of the few members that we had, PDG Patrick Obart, he came for our charter ceremony, made everyone stand 20 feet away, and said, okay, now I'm going to charter you all. PDG Alex, when he came, he didn't even come to the club. He did his club visit on Zoom. Rotary's about emotions, right? You're trying to sell an idea, but you've got to capture a person's heart and their brain. If you try to do these things, you will go a long, long way to doing it. Let me just go back to Liverpool. Not because I'm a Liverpool fan and they're like ninth in the table and aren't going to win anything this year. But you don't walk alone. Everyone seated in this room, even your fellow PEs, we're all here to make your years a success. But if you don't communicate to us, we don't know what your issues are. If you don't coordinate with the district, and that's one of the big themes of the DG strategy that he's going to talk about, and you don't delegate to your club members, you do self-inflicted wounds on yourself. Please don't do that. We're all here to help you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Rotarians, I think that's the end of this session. Can we all have a round of applause for our excellent four speakers? Really, that was a very interesting, very insightful, and well presented. All the presenters were excellent. That's it for my session. I want to thank all of you for listening. I thank all the, of course, the speakers this morning. Really well researched, fascinating stuff. And to Leonard and to Patricia, good luck, guys. You're not alone. We're going to walk this journey with you. Well done. Congratulations, guys. Thank you. Tito, over to you.
One nation and